Hey, what's going on, everybody? Dan here with you again. It's been a couple weeks since I've posted anything. The camper's on a little bit of a hiatus while I work on the inside of my house to try to get this all finished up. The area behind me has been in a construction zone for maybe like 5 years now. This whole wall behind me was all rotted out. I was working on some outside trim on the window, pulled the trim off, and found I could stick my finger through that. And as soon as I started pulling drywall off of here, I found almost every single stud was the same case. I could literally stick my finger right through the stud. So that was kind of the priority when I moved in here and I found that out. I have no idea how this roof didn't collapse. But I've already replaced the studs. Everything's pressure treated, bottom plate, top plate studs, new electrical and all that stuff, new windows. Even over here, the front door was originally on this window with the 2 skylights above it, but I moved the door over here, went through the whole planning and permitting process, and we've gotten all that done. The drywall's up. But Monday is the time when I'm getting floors throughout the entire house. I have my new vinyl plank, so it's gonna be a light gray to kind of match the walls and give it a little bit of a deeper tone for some contrast. But I've been waiting for this upcoming week for a couple years now, as I've been saving money and working on some other items around the house. I'll give you a little bit of a sneak preview on where I'm at with the RV and just some parts that I've collected before I go on to kind of show you what my prep for them coming in installing the floors on Monday looks like. It basically, I've already removed a whole bunch of carpet. I've removed a bunch of those nailing plates with the carpet that sit on the perimeter of the walls. But I'm now at the point where I'm removing baseboard. I decided I'm just gonna go ahead and do like a 5 or 6 inch baseboard instead of the 3 inch that's currently there. So first things first, as you start pulling the baseboard off, it's gonna be a good opportunity to make note of potential damage areas. I'm pretty aware of what was happening in this area, but if you're pulling baseboard off and you start seeing things like this, or the baseboard as you're pulling it is obviously not intact anymore and it has some type of termite or water damage, this is a good time to maybe make note of it. And if it seems like it needs to be inspected a little further, pulling drywall off and taking a look at it way before scheduling any of your flooring to be installed. So we're here in one of my extra bedrooms. This has been kind of my tool area as I'm working on the rest of the house. But if you're anything like me, you're trying to do things as cheap as possible, save as much money as possible, and maybe you enjoy the work or just like punishing yourself, either way. So this bedroom, I've already kind of removed some baseboards over here, but I just want to show you kind of what my process looks like. And if anything comes up, I'll show you kind of what I'm looking at as far as potential damage to be further inspected. As part of this though, you know, you're gonna have to be moving some things around and getting them out of your way. And this is one of the pains of doing things yourself, is you're basically moving heavy ass tables, a whole bunch of items. So I've had to move all my tools out of here. It's just time consumption more than anything, but it can get bothersome. So like I said, I've already removed the baseboards over there. So I'm gonna push this table back towards that wall and then move all these closet doors over here so I can start removing the baseboards on these sides. So let's get into it. So your first step, you're gonna take your blade and you're gonna score the point where it attaches to the wall on the top. That way you reduce the amount of potential paper tear from the drywall as possible. Sometimes you might have to change your blade halfway through too. This blade gets dull real fast on drywall. Or get a new blade because this one's out. So I will be right back. Okay, what I've also done is I score between your wall plate or your door frame and your baseboard here. That way, whatever paint and silicone has been put here doesn't pull off any wood or just pull off unfreely. So you want to score between your finished door frame too. And then this is personal preference with whatever tools you have. And keep in mind, if you're replacing it with the same height baseboard, you want to be a little bit more intentional about what tools you use to separate the baseboard. So you don't want to gouge out any of your drywall behind it. But for me, I'm going to be getting a base plate that is at least another inch taller, maybe 2 inches. I haven't decided yet. So I'm just going to use a flathead screwdriver, kind of get behind there, and then pry the whole thing off, and then work my way down. If you're not saving it, then don't worry about destroying it. Just get it off your wall. What I also like to do is break these boards up into tiny pieces so that I can put it in my trash can easily. So I'll just take it, step, break it up into smaller pieces. By the way, next what you have are the nails. So the baseboards will leave nails behind. Some of them will pull out, some of them will stay behind. And also you'll have nails relatively close to where your door frame is, right there. Pound them in flush. And if they happen to bend over, just smash it into the drywall, and then you just pretty much go along the line and get all the nails out. You'll want to put the pressure closer down to the bottom because that's where the bottom plate is. If you put pressure up here on the drywall, you run the risk of, let's say if I were to put it here, you run the risk of breaking the drywall here at the pressure point with the hammer. So use your pressure point the lowest you can and just pull the nail out. Once you get down to another corner and you have that nail, you have one of these nails that you hit in, you want to press them in before you start trying to wedge this next baseboard off, just because it'll get caught on any nails that are sticking out. So if you nail them in, it should be able to freely rotate out once you start breaking that off. So I'll just do the same thing here. Accidentally chipped off some of the door frame there, so I'll have to fix that once they finish the floors. I'll just glue it back into space. The cleaning might be a little overboard, but highly recommended just for your own health. Stop the amount of dust just floating around. So I have 2 more rooms to finish up doing the exact same thing. And then they come and install the flooring Monday. I'm gonna try to get some time-lapse video of that if I can, but I'm excited. I can't wait to have flooring down, and then I'll be able to install new baseboards. It'll feel a lot better having flooring with everything else that I've done. This has just been a huge day coming up. So I can't wait to show you guys the result, and thanks for watching.